The history of this is really interesting. I mean, you can speak of wine farms in the 1800s where every farm had its own still.
That's Roger Jorgensen, who's known locally as the Still Man. He lives in Wellington, one of South Africa's most historic towns, and he's famous for his pot still brandy. And he describes one of the darkest days in the history of alcohol production in South Africa.
They unilaterally outlawed private distillation in South Africa, a date line 1964. And the what we call the Drywer Fiscal, the grape sheriff, came around and they destroyed the stills. And they gave the rights to distill to a handful of big companies to create a cartel or a monopoly which exists to this day.
Fast forward to 1994 and the emergence of a democratic South Africa. Coincidentally, it spurred a handful of distillers to challenge the power of large corporates and reclaim their right to be part of the industry.
So we found the old apparatus, dusted it up and got it ready to operate, and then applied for licenses, and we were unilaterally rejected. And in desperation, we said it's our constitutional right to distill. And we announced the fact that we were going to start distilling in January 1994, come what may.
So that was the beginning of the craft revolution in South Africa. Apart from being a defiant distiller, Roger is a huge fan of his province.
The Western Cape can nourish a lot of things. It's inspiring. The fabric of the Western Cape is, to me, the perfect breeding ground for creativity.
Winter walks in the province's unique fynbos have been the inspiration behind much of what Roger produces.
They talk of the Cape or the Western Cape in the green season, and I love it. At that time of year, our precious fynbos biome is bursting with energy. Many of those fynbos plants, aromatic plants and medicinal plants, are at their finest in midwinter. They even bloom in the winter. I'm thinking particularly of the buchus and the wild rosemaries. These are plants rich in medicine, rich in aroma and rich in colour. And these are the plants that we look to provide inspiration, to create new products, to create essences and extracts and liqueurs and tinctures that draw on us.
Along the way, a fraternity of farmers and innovators have emerged in the province, collaborating with one another.
It's not just an economic revolution, it's a social revolution, and I think Cape Town and the Western Cape is leading the way. I don't want to taste my product in the next village, I want to taste their product in the next village. And that applies to their charcuterie, to their cheese, to their bread making and their organic farmers markets. I want to see what other people can do.